Yo, what's good, everybody? One Piece chapter 1030 is out, and this one's a big one. Let's get into it. Man, Oda was on one with this chapter. So we pick up with Drake and Apoo are at a ceasefire, that a standstill, and Apoo's talking to Drake and he's explaining to him, listen, dude, we don't really have to fight. As a matter of fact, we can team up. As far as I can see, you're a part of the Marines and I'm a regular pirate, dude. I don't really have to choose sides. I go to whatever side's beneficial to me. Bro, I love and I hate Apoo all at the same time. I think I just love to hate Apoo. He's a classic pirate. You know what I'm saying? There is no honor amongst thieves, and he just goes to whatever side is gonna work for him. If Kaido's side is what works for him, that's the side he's gonna play. If the Marines is the side that works for him, that's probably the side he's gonna play. If being on the Pirate Alliance is gonna work for him, that's the side that he's gonna go on. He really is only going on the side where he feels like he's gonna win. And in some ways, that's really no different from Basil Hawkins, right? You know, when they came into this new world, Basil Hawkins, Kid, and Apoo tried to form this pirate alliance. They were gonna take down Shanks, which we all know they probably would have got wrecked anyways, but that's beside the point. They were gonna take down a Yonko together, but Kid and Basil Hawkins kind of made up their face once they found out that Apoo had already betrayed them. But you're pirates, dude. Pirate alliances aren't supposed to last forever. Y'all aren't friends. Y'all are just mutually beneficial to each other in that moment. And that's the way that Oda has written this Apoo character. So yes, I know most of us love to hate Apoo because he's kind of a jerk and he felt like kind of a sellout. That's really what pirates are. So I do think Apoo's a well-written character. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Anyways, moving on. And look at Drake's reaction here. He's like, are you serious? You really think I would trust you? And Apoo's like, hey, listen, man, it's not about trust. It's about getting through this as winners. And he's saying that the winners in this will not be unscathed. That means whoever wins, if you come in after them, they'll be easy to pick off. And look at the numbers behind him. Apoo always has some sort of ace up his sleeve, and these numbers don't look like the rest. These numbers look like they're no joke, and to be honest, they look like the real thing, like the real ancient giant race, and they look closer to Oars and Oars Jr. So that looks really cool. So we cut to Nami and Usopp, and they're making an escape. With Tama and the Kamachiyo injured, they're trying to get out of the way. The fire is spreading, and with the help of the Smile users and the headliners, they are trying to escape as best they can. Before they can get off the stairs, they're stopped. They see the bottom half of somebody's body run in front of their path, and they're like, some of them are like a torso-less yokai is in this translation, but Nami and Usopp know this is no yokai. This is the bottom half of Kinemon, just like we were introduced to Kinemon on Punk Hazard. Somehow he's separated and his bottom legs are running around again. So whereas everybody else is frozen, they're freaking out, Nami and Usopp are like, nah, we need to help this dude. He's our ally. So Usopp grabs him, and obviously he's trying to calm Kinemon down, but Kinemon, it's the bottom half of his body, so he doesn't have ears in this form. It seems like he's sort of farting out instructions, which I don't know. I don't have any idea how that works. You're gonna have to ask Oda about that. That's Oda's mind doing brilliant things as usual. He can't hear him, so Usopp essentially just has to restrain him, but the point gets across, and Kinemon gives them the mission. At this point, Usopp and Kinemon's lower half will split and go back to the attic, while Nami and the rest of the headliners get Tama and the Kamachiyo to safety. But what's in the attic, you ask? Well, that would be Kinemon's top half and of course Kiku. And when we cut to the attic, we see that Kiku is just barely clinging to life. Kinoman's conscious again. To our surprise and his, somehow he survived being chopped in half by Kaido. I didn't even realize he got chopped in half by Kaido. For some reason, I thought he got crushed by Kaido's Kanobo, but I guess I'll have to go back and read that. But he got chopped in half by Kaido, and we realized that it's all due to Law's devil fruit. I guess Law didn't put him back together properly. Wasn't expecting that one, but that one came out of nowhere. So lucky for him, yeah, he got hurt, he got messed up, but because Law didn't put him back properly, he really just split in half instead of being severed. So Kinemon's still alive, and I know everybody thought that Kinemon was gonna die somewhere in this arc. Listen, Kinemon has to be the advisor to Momonosuke when Momonosuke takes over Wano. Kinemon has to go and see his wife once this is all over. Kinemon is not dying in this arc. I don't know how many times I have to explain it, but Oda does not kill characters like that. And I know it's some sort of weird like reverse psychology that once Oda explains that he doesn't kill characters, everybody wants to see characters die. And I get it. When characters die, it brings more weight and more consequence to the story. I totally get it. But we kind of just need to put that out of our minds. Actually might make a video on this. We need to put that out of our minds. Kinemon is not dying in this arc. He's not gonna pull a Pedro and die for nothing. But besides that, when Kinemon's resting there, he's kind of surveying the area and he realizes that Kanjuro is also sort of regaining consciousness. They're all three immobilized. Kinemon's in half. Kiku is pretty much dead, and I mean barely alive, and Kanjuro is also barely alive. None of them can move. And then Kinemon, I guess he believes that Kanjuro is going crazy, or maybe that he's just talking to himself, but he's not. Kinemon actually ends up hearing Orochi's voice faintly, and then we realize that he's actually talking to Kanjuro via the transponder snail, the small one that they have in Wano. So Orochi's actually giving Kanjuro his final orders. He's saying, listen, Kanjuro, you did a great job and I'm proud of you. I'm applauding you. Of course, Kanjuro's whole stick is that he's an actor, a performer, so this is his greatest performance, his life's work, and Orochi's giving him props for that. And this is kind of a different side of Orochi that we've never seen. I mean, Kanjuro's the only other Kurozumi other than him, so I guess that makes sense, but it's almost like Orochi cares for Kanjuro, you know, ever so slightly. I mean, he's telling him to essentially kill himself, and while he's killing himself, kill everybody else, which is kind of weird if you care about somebody, but nonetheless, it seems that Orochi is really taking what Kanjuro did as something that was really beneficial to him and the Kurozumi name. And of course, there's the twisted side of Orochi. So he's telling Kanjuro, our ancestors are not yet satisfied. The job that you've done was finished. You undid the alliance as best as you could, and now you're finished, but give them an encore. Go ahead and let's finish the job. In this translation, he tells Kanjuro to use your paintings to depict the burning wrath of the Kurozumi clan. So Kinemon watches on in horror because he can't do anything as Kanjuro like leans over to the side and paints what it seems to be a burning specter that doesn't really have a solid form. It's just on fire, like a living form of fire. And we see it take shape. It has eyes and it goes through the castle and it seems to be burning everything that it touches. So now we have that to worry about. And this thing is moving fast. You know, Orochi kind of narrates this section of the chapter for us, but we're cutting to everybody. We're cutting to Momonosuke trying to still work on his Cloud Flame situation. We're cutting to the Flower Capital and they seem to be still having a good time. They have no idea what's about about to come for them. And we see that the castle on Onigashima is being completely consumed by flames. It's way faster than the fire was moving before. Everybody's trying to run for their lives. We see Brooke and Robin essentially running, trying to get out of there. The CP0 members are starting to split. They're like, we don't really need to be in here anymore because this thing's about to go up. Everybody's still fighting. Marco, Izo, Luffy is still on the rooftop. Sanji and Zoro, they're still fighting. So they're kind of unaware as to what's going on. And we know that Orochi, he's a schemer. You know what I'm saying? He's cracking up to himself, knowing that he set Kanjuro on this path, knowing full well that Flaming Spectre will essentially get to the basement where Kaido stored all the weapons and the gunpowder and the explosives that Orochi supplied him with. So Orochi knows that this place is eventually gonna go up in flames. He doesn't care. He just wants everybody to die. If Kaido dies, then that's even better. If the pirates die, then that's what he came here for. But he just wants everybody to die. And we know that that's now Yamato's mission. And it's kind of interesting how this is almost working out, because we know that the only person that seemed like they really could stop Orochi back in the day was Oden. And it seems like the only person that's going to be able to foil Orochi's plans in the present day is Yamato or the self-proclaimed Oden. So it's interesting how that worked out. I just wanted to point that out really quick. But essentially, Yamato, she's moving quick. She's in her wolf form, and she knows that the armory is at the bottom of the castle. However, it's going to take a while for her to get there. She's at the mouth of the castle, and she has to go, I don't know, maybe all the way up to go all the way down or something like that. They have the map of the castle on this panel, but I'm not really sure how you get down there, but it's in the basement. So she's trying to figure that out. But before she can even make a move, we see a giant Ikkaku sovereignty fly through the floor. Now, I'm not sure if that means that a hole is now going straight to the bottom and now Yamato can just jump down there and continue her mission. But we know Ikkaku sovereignty is a signature move for one person and one person only, that being Big Mom. So in the next panel, we see, surprise, surprise, Kid is getting absolutely wrecked. And I'm sorry to laugh, but this is just not what we expected coming from that smirk in the last chapter. We thought the next time we saw this fight, they were gonna have this fight under control. We see Kid's Punk Gibson getting absolutely wrecked by Big Mom. She's smiling, her tongue is wagging, she's having a good time. And in that moment, we get a small flashback. We see that Kid and Law, they actually devised the plan. Kid asks Law, can you actually awaken your ability? And Law's like, well, you know, I can do it here and there, but doing it in a battle, I've never really done that before. And Kid's saying, yeah, the same with me. But we're all out of options here, bud. So if we're gonna do it, we gotta do it now because we're losing this battle. So we actually get to see Law's awakening up close and personal here. This is a real treat. And he uses what he calls Kroom. Instead of your room, it's Kroom. And he creates a small orb that he surrounds his sword with. He coats his sword with it, and this is called Anastasia. He pierces Big Mom with it because she's so big and I guess unsuspecting that, you know, she gets hit really easy. But he pierces her with it from behind, and he uses what he calls a shockwave, and it shocks her from the inside out. It's really hurting her at this point. My whole thing is, I'm sorry, y'all. It seems like Law could have beat Big Mom by himself, and that's really what it comes down to for me. I understand Kids here, we're about to talk about him in a second, but Law really could beat Big Mom by himself, so keep that in mind. And at this point, to everyone's surprise, Big Mom is bleeding from her mouth. So her homies and everybody's freaking out saying, oh no, she's bleeding, but she really doesn't care that much. She kind of turns around and looks at Law, and while her attention's on Law, Kid sneaks up from behind and uses a sign, which I guess is his awakening. It really just magnifies Big Mom, and now all the steel and metal in the area are now all being drawn to her, and it eventually crashes onto her. He calls it punk crash, and I suppose it crushes her in some kind of way. I'm not really sure. I see this big pile of rubble here at the bottom, and I'm expecting Big Mom to just kind of get up from underneath. I don't really understand Kid's power to do that kind of damage. You can't crush Yonko, so unless you have some sort of trick up your sleeve like Ryu or Conqueror's Haki or even Law's Devil Fruit or even the Sonic Blades where you can hurt Yonko from the inside out, you can't crush Yonko. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm expecting Big Mom to get right back up from this, and I'm expecting Law to essentially take back over this battle. So Kid fans, I'm sorry, you're still waiting. But besides that, let me know in the comment section how you felt about this chapter. This chapter was absolutely action-packed. From Orochi to Kinemon to Kanjuro, you know, the whole place is literally ablaze right now. And, you know, the time is ticking, time is running out. But, you know, this is why we're loving Wano so far. I'm gonna give this chapter maybe a 7. As a matter of fact, I take that back. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because we got Awakenings, guys. We haven't seen Awakenings since Katakuri, and we still don't even really know what Awakenings is. So just because we got Awakenings, I'm gonna bump that up. I'm gonna give it a strong 8 out of 10. Let me know how you felt about it. Please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you get the notifications when I get new videos. I got a lot of new videos coming out. Hit me on Instagram, hit me on Twitter at Anime Sifu. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will catch you guys next time.